Hi, everybody. This is day 1276, Weaponized FBI. Yeah, so let me go on to Facebook and check to see if everything's working. Can everybody hear me? Make sure this is up. Okay. Wow, it's been another very busy day for Team Farm Richard Halliday. So much going on behind the scenes because the case is breaking. The case is breaking, and it all really depends on politics now. So we'll be talking about the weaponized FBI, and let's see if I'm on, and the criminal negligence. I think that's really, really important because absolutely there has been intentional malice and criminal negligence and a weaponization of our agencies. And when President Trump said, what they're doing to me is not really what they're doing to me, it's what they're going to do to you, he's right. He's right about that. And what they're doing to us, in Richard Halliday's case, what they've done to Richard, in this case, the intentional malice, the criminal negligence, and the weaponization of the FBI, um, they will do to anybody that uh, stops them from their monopoly on criminal activities, that is extorting the American taxpayer, of their taxpayer funds. It's just a scam. It's a scam in my opinion. It's been a scam, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can tell me that our government agencies are doing some good, but I just have not seen that in this. Matter of fact, I have evidence. We have evidence. Team 5 Richard Halliday has evidence, on the contrary, of them doing anything good. It's like they're up to no good. They're up to no good. So it looks like I'm on. I can't see where I'm at. There it is. Okay. Evidence. We have evidence. Team 5. Correct. Let me see if I can do this. Um, if I turn this off, can you hear me now? If I turn this off, can you hear me now? Oh, I think that's better. I think that's better. Okay. So, um, we have been going over these 780 plus pages. There's redacted pages and kind of blank pages. So, about 780 pages there in the CID report on Richard's case. And we are also receiving from the district attorney's office open records that, hundreds of pages. And we, of course, do going over those kind of documents online is no fun, right? So they provide them in digital files, and I guess you can have them, you can request them in paper, but it's very quick, and you get them in digital files. And but for Richard's case, there are so many irregularities and so many things that have been left out. So we need to make, um, I guess we need to add supplements to the report. And of course we do, because Team Farm Richard Halliday was made the investigators of Richard's case. So, really, the lead investigators, I want to make this really clear, because from the very beginning, and this is one of those irregularities that we have officially complained about and reported over and over again is that we were made the investigators in our son's case. We were told in the meetings over and over and on the phone that we had to bring leads. Otherwise, they could not help us. We needed to provide the leads. Otherwise, they could not help us. This is from the CID. This is from the 15 plus agencies. The, yeah, can you imagine? Um, and also the command. Now, the district attorney's office at the time that Richard went missing was Jaime Esparza. He was the district attorney for El Paso. There's two other counties in that um, at the time. And he was unseated. Well, he retired, and Yvonne Rosales won his seat. Okay, won that district attorney seat in an election. They voted for her. I think it was over 200,000 people voted for her. So she won that election, and we have um, intelligence that she was actively, her district attorney's office was actively investigating Richard's case. This is very important for everyone to know, because when she, as district attorney, wanted to put a date for the Patrick Crucius case, who is well, now he's convicted, right? He's convicted of mass shooting in the August 3rd, 2019 Walmart case, Walmart mass shooting. 23 dead, 22 injured, and he received 90 life sentences consecutively to be served at the Florence, Colorado, the highest security prison where the worst criminals of the criminals are. So that's like 8,000 years he's supposed to be in that prison, and also receive mental health care for his, well, I'm saying everything from memory, but counseling and treatment for his severe mental health condition. Okay, the judge recommended that. And something just is not right about that. But DA Yvonne Rosales, when she wanted a court case for that, okay, because they were looking for the death penalty for that case, and she fired John Briggs. 2 days later, El Paso Matters, led by Bob Moore, petitioned for her to be unseated, for her to be moved. Okay? Something is very fishy there. And as soon as Bill Hicks was appointed, there was some irregularities there too, right? But because he was already appointed a judge or served as a judge, he knew about how to fill in paperwork, okay? And when he became the DA in Texas, according to the Constitution, which he is supposed to uphold, right? He's supposed to, as district attorney, as someone that's supposed to be able to identify crimes and identify the criminals and document them and prosecute them. He better know the Constitution, right? And the Constitution requires that he fill in an anti bribery statement with his oath of office. Those two are Texas, and he absolutely knows that, right? So, but he didn't do it. He did not do it. And this was at the end of December, and uh, he was sworn in, and he hired Loretta Lynn Hewitt as an attorney. He hired back John Briggs, and the Secretary of State emailed him, according to Reyes Mata's Open Records um, revelation in his article that I posted up just before I came on, um, that she the Secretary of the State emailed him on the 25th. He turned in his statement of officer, which is called the anti-bribery statement. But he, on the 26th, the next day, um, but he tampered with the timestamp to make it January 11th. Um, that's so, that means that means that everything that he's done is illegitimate. That's what that means. Okay, everything that he's done is illegitimate. And, that is just not acceptable. And all for what? The Richard's case, because Richard's case is also the Walmart August 3rd, 2019 mass shooting case, which is the Patrick Crucius case. So that has tied the DA's office in knots. Why? Because there is activity that is being covered up. It's very clear that there's criminal activity. There's so many unanswered questions. There's so many. Look, there's multiple dead soldiers, um, and so many uh, murdered, and injured, and for what? Business plan is this? This is like, that movie. Is it called Wag the Tail, or Wag the Dog's Tail, or Wag the Dog, or whatever it's called? It's like they uh, they produce some kind of major crime, some kind of major war event, so that they can manipulate the people to do something that they want to do illegally. Who's behind all of this? And one of them, of course, is we believe that several have not done their duty, and so they're part of it, right? They're part of it, and that would be the supervisory special agent for the FBI there in El Paso. His name is Jesus Eddie. He's known as Eddie Nieto Jr. And this is a huge, it's a heartbreak. It's a heartbreak for the people of El Paso that they can't trust their FBI, that their FBI is being weaponized against them. Against them. It's not just Richard. It's all of El Paso, and even the surrounding area, and into Juarez, Mexico. And this is, just so heartbreaking when you learn this, but it's true. It's true. And we will see if the politics of this will do something about it. And the politics, when I say politics, I mean the work of the people, the act of the people. Because politics is me and you. Are we going to put up with this, the weaponization of the FBI against us, against us, against the people of Mexico, even? Because, and even a German, right? Because Alexander Gerhard Hofmann, he was German and he died there at the Walmart, and then Mexican nationals and American nationals. This is this is because of the weaponization of the FBI, the corruption. He should never have been in that position. Why is he in that position? He was a soldier and even lived on Fort Bliss. Why is he in that position? Because everything, every case on Fort Bliss, he has to uh, not be part of because he's compromised. And then he's compromised with Angela Kachurga. He's compromised with Lalani Hart. He's compromised with the chief medical examiner. He's compromised with so many, with so many. Why? Because he lives there for over 20 years. Not only being in the service and living on Fort Bliss, and but also growing up in that area, and then being an FBI for over 20 years, 20 being part of the El Paso Police Department. I mean, why is he there? Of course, he sooner or later is going to be compromised. That's why we don't allow that. We don't allow that. We move people around every 3 years, because we know that attachments lead to compromise. And he's FBI, and not just any FBI. He's a supervisory special agent. But he's not too special, is he? Because he has conflicts of interest, seemingly by family, with Bradford Bugado, which is Nadal Baim, the FBI man that walked into the Dollar General, that gave intelligence out to the cashier that Richard's remains were found in Mexico, which makes this an international case. And the crime scene is binational. The crime scene is binational. The whole case is international. And the FBI was weaponized. And so many conflicts of interest. And Bill Hicks, okay, so he gets in, and what does he do? He shuts down the investigation into Richard's case and leaves the Patrick Crucius case, which is the August 3rd, 2019 Walmart mass shooting case, in pieces, and he hires the person that left it in pieces, that put it in pieces, that keeps it in pieces, John Briggs. He hires him back. He's been there for decades. Decades. And this is so clear when you look into it just a little bit. You see the sloppiness of this whole thing that does not follow the way we do things in this country, and yet they've gotten away with it for decades, to have these conflicts of interest, these long terms, and these connections and attachments to persons that because even Nieto's wife has a conflict of interest, huge conflict of interest. Seems like it. So, um, I will tell you this, we've been working behind the scenes on something huge because of discoveries made in the CID file. And it really is breaking this case. And so I don't know whether I should say it publicly because we are, um, you know, the DA, Bill Hicks, who is illegitimate. It seems like he's illegitimate. He's an illegitimate DA. And then we have the FBI not only having conflicts of interest there in El Paso, but also interfering with the election of Yovan Rosales. And how did he do that? He allowed that we got confirmed, tampered information to be used um, to against her as an excuse to unseat her. And it was tampered, and he didn't even do anything about it. And he didn't protect who he's supposed to protect, and that is the Constitution. And the DA is the Constitution, the people and the land. It's the politics. And if he doesn't protect the DA from tampered evidence, right? Tampered files, then how can we expect him to protect you and me and Richard? Not that he's supposed to, I don't live there, so he's not supposed to protect me, but the people of El Paso, he's supposed to, which includes Richard. How are we to expect him to do that if he doesn't even want to protect Yovan Rosales when he absolutely knows that the evidence being used against her is tampered with files? So, how is he going to deal with Richard's evidence? And there's been tampered evidence in Richard's case by the weaponization of the FBI. And that's in the 780 pages. And it's, we're not even all the way through it. You have to read through it over and over and wrap your head around what's going on. And there's so many fallacies and so many things left out and so many things not updated in that report that, we had to get it printed out. We just went and printed it out because we saw the value of it. There's so much evidence in those 780 pages. There's so much evidence there. We had it printed out. We're going to go through it, and I'll just take some pictures and put them out there with we're going to just have to make our supplements and corrections and let people know. And because those documents, that report is open records material. And the reports out of all of the information, the public information out of the DA's office there in El Paso is also for public to see it, to oversee it, to ask questions about it. And so that's very important because that's what makes us a republic, right? That's what makes us uh, an open society. Otherwise, the criminals, the law enforcement could do whatever they wanted and not have to share anything with us and get away with murder, literally their criminal activities and murder. So we don't want to live in that kind of country. We want these open records. So you can request open records from any taxpayer funded agency organization, right? So I think it's very, very important. It's one of the lessons that we have learned through all of this is we really do need to request open records and go through them. And I know that Reyes Mata, I heard that he's very, very good at it. And it looks like he is because he broke a huge, huge story. And I hope that you read that about the illegitimacy of Bill Hicks. So, what's going to happen there? Well, he needs to be unseated for what he did, replaced. I don't know the all the ramifications of that. Can he pay a fine? Can he do whatever? I don't know because with all of this intentional malice, without him uh, giving us the public records in due time, without him even communicating with us, and we were communicating with him as victims, as witnesses, and as the victims, as the next of kin to a victim. So we were communicating with him as victims, as witnesses, and as the next of kin to a victim, Richard Halliday. And he refused, he has still refused to communicate with us. And that is just, he works for us. He should answer us, especially a case as big as Richard that is international. It's an international case with a binational crime scene, which CID Jessica Veltri said that she would come visit the crime scene, and she never has. She never has. And she put that report out without even visiting the crime scene. That, let that sink in. And the CID is like the FBI, and they have absolutely cooperated in this. It's been the weaponization of the FBI with intentional malice and the criminal negligence. I got to get all these terms right because this is um, this is what they've done. This is what they've done. But the breaking news is that in those, and I'll get more specific probably tomorrow. The breaking news is that in those 700 plus pages is the proof that the FBI tampered with Richard's case and they are criminally negligent with intentional malice. That's the breaking news. And I think that that is huge. That in their own, well, CID, in their own attempt to cover up, they expose themselves. They expose themselves, and anyone that wants to read it can read it. And, they count on you not wanting to read any of these open records, any of these public records. And so we went and had it printed out, and we're going to read it. We have been reading it, but we're going to read it even more over and over again until we understand and pray that we're not missing anything when it comes to breaking Richard's case. But it seems like it's breaking out. We don't know what is going to um, get the politics, and I mean the people to act, and the press to act, for them all to be driven to cover this story and to get justice in Richard's case and to give us back his remains. Uh, you know, we don't know what it's going to take, but we're going to keep on going until it is just smashed apart. And I'm telling you, it is broken. It's already we have broken this case. So I don't know if it's shattered yet, but it's broken. And I'm just wondering, what is it going to take? I was thinking about Ted Cruz and riding Ted Cruz again because he has a formidable opponent, Roland Gutierrez. I hope I'm saying his name right. Um, so he has a good chance of not making it. And, what is it going to take for our elected officials? Because, Veronica Escobar, we have communicated with her so many times, pleaded with her. Um, and yeah, with all of the information coming out, it is a huge story. And I was even looking through New York Times, and they covered so many of these stories, but not Richard's, because Richard's is part of the Walmart case, the August 3rd, 2019 Walmart case. And there's some bad players in that. And so if you've lost a loved one in that Walmart mass shooting, if you've lost a loved one, if you were there and survived it without getting injured, if you were there and survived it, even being injured, I would call out to the hero, right? There's a surviving hero, Chris Grant. Chris Grant could tell us a lot more. He could tell us a lot more. And I would reach out and say, you know, what really happened? Because clearly the narrative that they are trying to give us, the media is trying to give us this narrative that they were given. And who wrote that? It's like there was no thought put in. It's very badly done because clearly it's not the truth. Clearly. So, how did Patrick Crucius get to that intersection where he surrendered himself to? I know he drove there and parked, but how long did it take him to get there? And then he was so clean, and even his shoes clean, and then there's these really weird different pictures of him. Nothing makes sense. After shooting 50 people, hundreds of bullets, having soda bottles thrown at you. You would think that he would be a little bit bloody and with soda pop on him, right? Um, that would identify the shooters. And that's not the case. And there's so much and I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm saying that something is isn't right and justice is not being served. And I think the highest goal is that justice is served. Because, if we try to manipulate this and go along with this just because we're hurt and we just want someone to hate, that's a hate crime, right? I mean, he's autistic. He's severely mentally handicapped, has a mental condition that is severe, and we know that he's autistic, and we know that he had ear muffs on or ear hearing protection on during that time. That's clearly an indication of autism because autistic individuals are very sensitive to loud noises. And if you're willing to kill yourself and and then this is the thing. People, well, the media, Bob Moore, wants us to believe, and other media outlets wants us to believe that he hates Hispanics so much, but yet he will park his car and he will surrender to a Hispanic person. You know, it's like nothing makes sense. And they just want to divide us. I just don't buy the narrative. And it's very important because it's Richard's case. It's connected to 3905 Bliss Avenue. Richard's case is connected to 3905 Bliss Avenue. Bliss Avenue is huge, huge. So many people are connected to 3905 Bliss Avenue. And it puts it all together. And now we have confirmation in the CID report, from the CID report, that the FBI tampered with Richard's case, endangering Richard with intentional malice and with criminal negligence. And I think that's huge news. Good evening, Danielle. Thank you so much for coming on. We're asking for everybody to share the live streams, and I'm on X, which is Twitter X, whatever you want to call it, and then Rumble too, and YouTube. So if Facebook goes out, we'll just move over. I think we have a following there on TikTok and a following there on Rumble, and we will just keep going. God is in control of all of this, and we try to reach. I think we have a reach of like 10,000 people a day. Um, and everything is in God's timing, but we need to reach out to um our representatives and our senators and the DA's office there, and we need to start asking for open records. And if they ask why, say because um, we want to know what's going on in Richard's case, the Walmart mass shooting case. We don't want mass shootings in our community. We don't want soldiers that are whistleblowers to just go missing from the barracks on our military installations and then, be found dead in Mexico. Um, you know, I, I don't know what they want from us. They were so mad for so long. They've been so mad for so long because what they want us to do is just forget Richard. And, we have told them over and over again, where is Richard? First, find Richard. Why are you so mad? We're just wanting to know about our son. And it is not an option to just say, okay, whatever. You can retaliate against him. You can murder him. You can cut him up in pieces and put his body parts where, he's a good meal for the coyotes. That's the words of the Thomas Kane, the director of emergency services. Can you imagine how we felt when we heard that when he said that? Can you imagine? That's an employee, a good paying employee. So I think that's really important, because then he knew something. He knew something with the CID and he knew something with the FBI, and being the director of emergency services. And there's, you know, when Richard, this is some information that was in the 700 pages. This other is so big that you know, am not even focusing. I have to focus on all of it. Um, but what we discovered was that when Richard was at the Bridge of Americas, when he was arrested and shackled and his car was impounded for nothing. There was no probable cause, okay? There was no probable cause. He was turned over to the DES. The DES came and got him. Think about that. So, yes, that that's weird. The DES is who the Customs and Border Protectors handed Richard over to. The DES. Thomas Kane. Thomas Kane. Why? Why would it be the DES? So, um, there's a lot of good information that is evidence in Richard's case in those 700 pages. There is a lot of, you know, whatever, um, no corroborating evidence. No, so many statements without any kind of evidence. And we've been fighting that from the beginning. We're like, well, where is the person? Where is the video? Where is the screenshot? Where is the, we want the evidence. Where is the bill? Where's the bill? Where's the money trade? Where's the whatever? There's no corroborating evidence. And so we're going through it as yet, um, and we will let you know more as soon as we find something. So thank you so much, everybody. Please share, and this is the time. This is the time to share because it is just breaking in all directions, and we are working so hard behind the scenes. And just pray that people will force our, senators like Ted Cruz, our representatives, our agencies to do the right thing. So thank you, everyone. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow.